Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the very obvious, it's being told in public more and more often. And that is leaders, wink wink, of countries call on United States of America to engage in negotiations with Russia. They don't call on Ukraine. They call on the United States because that's the source. We knew that from a long time ago. Only weasels did not know that. But anyway, weasels will remain weasels because they like it. So, not because they can't change. They can change, but they don't want. They think they're smart being weasels. That's the thing. They think being weasels, shirkers and schemers helps them in the long run. No, I don't think so. But anyway, so we got some schemers here that worked for them for some time. So let's see. The United States is the one who needs to negotiate with Russia. But the same guys that say United States should start negotiating with Russia regarding a peace something over there in Ukraine, they also say, no, it's only Ukraine and Ukrainians who would determine when and how and blah, 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 the negotiations will start and the outcome of the negotiation. So it's like with this half, they say something, with this half, they say something else. But we know if United States says, stop that shit, Ukraine will stop. Because otherwise they will not be able to continue anyway. And they know exactly who's the paymaster and so on. So we have this article from Sputnik. Oh my God, Russian propaganda again, Emil? Well, I know, what can I do? Should I use the other weasels? I use these weasels. So sometimes I use these guys, sometimes I use the other ones, depending on what kind of information they provide. If this would be provided by, let's say, Reuters or CNN, I would use CNN. But as of now, I use these guys. I understand their little agendas like the other ones, but I'm not reading the article because of their agenda. I'm reading the information, and the information is quoted. So if I'm quoting someone, I'm interpreting his quotation, whatever statements, his statements in quotation marks. Let's go. Macron at Vatican. So he's in Vatican right now. And this is what he says. So this could be reported by anybody. US needs to sit down at negotiating table to push forward Ukraine peace process. Well, what's propaganda here from Sputnik? Nothing. Is what they say. This guy said that. Now, if they lie, they lie. But I don't think they would make really like that. So the French president traveled to Vatican City on Monday to meet Pope Francis, with the ongoing security crisis in Ukraine the focal point of discussions. According to French media, the president asked the Pope to personally reach out to Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden to help resolve the conflict. I don't understand. Ukrainians are not Catholic. Russians are not Catholic. The Pope is the CEO of the Catholic business, church. Okay? So, anyway. I'm pretending I don't know, but let's move on. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Washington to start negotiations to stop the Ukrainian crisis. And I'm quoting. Now this is what Macron said. We need the United States to sit down at a negotiation table to advance the peace process in Ukraine, Macron said, speaking to reporters after his visit to the Vatican. Pointing to the relationship of trust between Pope Francis and Biden, really, who is a Catholic, Macron suggested that Pope Francis can influence him. Wait a second. Yeah, I made a mistake here. He said that reach out to Putin and Biden, not Putin and the Ukrainians. So, my bad. Yeah, he could reach out to the Catholic Biden. Who is Catholic? Macron suggested that Pope Francis, and I'm quoting, can influence him so that the United States resumes his involvement in resolving the crisis in Haiti and Ukraine. Now, Macron, you assume, Macron, that if the Pope calls, Biden, Biden will be alive. You know what I mean? So, might speak with someone else, another handler. And I'm quoting, the president also called on the Pope to call President Putin and Russian Orthodox Church Patriarch Kirill as well as Biden to help bring peace to Ukraine. Well, after you call the Patriarch being, or advise the Patriarch not to be Putin's altar boy, I don't think the Patriarch really want to talk to you anymore. Remember, he dodged you in, I think, in Kazakhstan. It was the little meeting between the all faiths and all that. They didn't, they were like this. Did not even dodge one another. They were just on different paths. Why? Well, you can't say you're an asshole and then, hey, let's talk, hey, let's have a beer. Anyway, so he can try. The Vatican said the Pope's conversation with the French president on Monday lasted 55 minutes and per established protocol did not elaborate on the specifics of the two men, what the two men discussed, apart from general theme, and I'm quoting, during the cordial discussions which took place in the Secretariat of State, the parties focused on matters of the international nature, starting with the conflict in Ukraine, with special attention to the humanitarian situation, the Vatican said in a statement. Good. Commenting on Macron's appeal on Tuesday, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia is ready to talk to US and other countries and the Pope to find solutions on the Ukrainian crisis. I thought the Americans said that the Russians don't want to negotiate. I hate when some people tell you what you feel. Hey, Emily's upset right now, don't bother him. Hey, mofo, did I say that? Oh, no, you are just an idiot, so don't talk to him, guys, okay? How about that one? Anyway, so it says here that regarding the French president appeal to Peskov lamented, so this is regarding the French president's appeal to get Pope Francis to talk to Putin, Peskov lamented that no one is appealing to Kiev, which has openly rejected any negotiations. Well, Peskov, don't be a weasel, you know that Kiev is going to do whatever Washington wants. Pope Francis appealed to Putin earlier this month to, quote-unquote, stop this spiral of violence of death, and quote, in Ukraine, and called on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to be, quote-unquote, be open to serious peace proposals. Commenting on the escalating rhetoric among Western officials and media about the dangers of a nuclear war over Ukraine, the Pope emphasized that, and I'm quoting, the humanity again finds itself before the threat of atomic war is absurd. Well, you never know. God moves or acts in mysterious ways, Mr. Pope. How about that? Be thy will, God. So what are you talking about? Oh, free will. I forgot about that one. So throughout Ukraine has criticized both sides in the conflict and repeatedly accused NATO of, quote-unquote, provoking Moscow by barking at the gates of Russia, end quote, by advancing towards its borders over the past, despite promises not to do so. You know, now it's a little bit of this, but the Pope can do as much as he can and doesn't have much power in either sides, Russian or American side. Macron issued a series of mixed messages in recent days relating to the Ukraine crisis and regarding Paris's relationship with the United States of America. Speaking in Rome on Sunday, the French president said it would be up to Ukraine, not Russia, to determine the terms of peace, and that he would not accept staying neutral and accepting the world order of the strongest. Really? You, France, when it dictated and spoke from the worldview of force, if you look back, it was never like, okay guys, we are equal here. No, smack, smack, smack. But that's the way world is ran. So last Friday, Macron blasted the United States for selling its gas to European countries at prices several times higher than those on the domestic US market. Their cost, and I'm quoting, their costs of energy are so much lower as they are producers. so much lower as they are producers. They sell the gas here for 3 to 4 times, they sell the gas for 3 to 4 times less than we have to pay. Well, what do you want? This is what's going on in real world. That's why you don't have allies. You have just partners in common interest. And when that common interest is not common anymore, you're not allies anymore. There's no allies in looting, in crime. That's what you are, partners in crimes. And then the crime is finished, you move on. You're not partners anymore. You get your loot and get home. So anyway, good that at least he went and spoke with Pope, and they urged one of the guys that could have something to say in the peace process, which is the United States and Russia. I think these two. The rest don't really matter, because Ukraine can be smacked around by United States, so could be UK, who's yes sir, so who's gonna be else? Germany is waiting for these guys to lift the sanctions so they can start living normally. And not only, France the same way, Italy, see what happened over there. Well, good. I hope they will accelerate the peace process, or at least to start it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.